happy Tuesday. And here again, it's nice and warm. And I hope it is where you are, wherever that might be. So this value series of subjects that have something to do with building a business or growing a business is growing as well. When I first did my broadcast about understanding value and what value is and whether we have any or not and how to measure it and what it's based on, I had no idea that I was going to keep thinking of more subjects that are connected with value. And today I'm dealing with a subject that a lot of people don't actually want to deal with. It's a really, really important one. It's feedback. Feedback. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Because it's the expression I always use to refer to somebody giving me an opinion about what they think they got out of my business or what my business might be about, or something I wrote or something I said, or something that's wrong or something that's right. Some people call it criticism. I don't. Some people call it negative feedback. I don't. It is just feedback. That's all it is. But people don't like dealing with it or thinking about it. And yet it is incredibly important, because when you figure out who your audience is and you start connecting with your audience, you will find out how they tick and what they want from the feedback that they provide for you. In fact, you should ask for feedback. You should be doing surveys so that you learn what they want. But we tend not to, because we're frightened that people will say to us, I want that, but not from you, or I don't want what you've got, or I don't like it. That will somehow make us feel like bad people, or like not good enough people, or worse people, or like we're doing the wrong thing. We're all really, really deeply, deeply frightened of rejection. So I look at it as feedback, not judgment or criticism, but feedback. And we've been getting feedback since we were little children, because our parents either laughed at us or they shouted at us, right? So we would try to do more of the activity that made them laugh and less of the activity that made them shout, right? This is exactly the same thing. People tell you what they want based on how you behave, right? So last year, I did an experiment where I asked everybody I knew on Facebook for their mailing address so I could send them a birthday card. Some people completely ignored the message because they might not even have seen it. I don't know. I'm not to judge. It's not my job to figure out why they didn't respond, but they didn't at all. Some people said, yes, of course, here it is. Some people misunderstood me and sent me an email address. Some people asked why I was asking for it. And once we'd connected a little bit, and if you look back, I talked about connection last week and how important it is to build connections with people. We would have sometimes we could even have a conversation. A couple of people just called me, said, who are you? What are you about? Why do you want my mailing address? And one or two people said, how dare you even ask for my email address, for my mailing address? Who on earth do you think you are? Now, that's a very broad spectrum of people. The same with the responses. Those who had given me their address received a greeting card. Some of them said, thanks for the greeting card. Some of them said absolutely nothing. And some of them sent me messages that said things like, when I went to the mail today and I saw your greeting card and opened it, I could have cried because of how lovely it was. It had my favorite picture in, something, something. It was the only birthday card I received, whatever it is. And I felt loved and I felt like you'd cared about me, something, something. Now, all of those are feedback. All of them, whether they are negative or positive, they are feedback. And none of it is actually negative, because it helps you figure out how to talk to your audience and who your audience is. Right, now to use my own personal example, and I'm sorry guys, I have to use my own personal examples because that's all I've got to use. You know, that's me doing my experiments and it's real. Obviously, if somebody doesn't want to be asked for their mailing address and is not interested in being sent a birthday card, they're probably not going to want to send them out either. Those people who loved receiving them may well be inclined to send them. And in fact, some of them asked. Some of them said, I was so impressed by your card, or I was so overwhelmed by your card. I would love to send cards to somebody. And then I could send them a message saying, great, I'll pay for your first card for you. You can send a card for free, right? Or something like that. So I help them do something good as well. The point is, it helps me narrow down my audience. And when you're connecting with a lot of people, when you have a large group of followers in whatever social platform it is, or a large email list, you will find not everybody wants what you've got. Not everybody is going to want to share it. And it's not about you. It's about them. It's very, very rarely about you. It's about them, right? So the fact that somebody does not want me to have their mailing address has nothing to do with me. It's about them. If they ignore my message, nothing to do with me. It's about them. If I send them a greeting card and even a gift and they don't say thank you, not about me. It's about them. So there are two things in the value of feedback. One of the values of feedback is that it will make you a stronger person. Because the very first time somebody said no to me, I nearly shut my shop down. I literally was so upset. I'd spent so much time learning how to say what I wanted to say, how to approach people, how to make it seem interesting. I was really nervous and frightened. And the last thing on earth I wanted to have happen was someone to reject me and say, no, I'm not interested. Really not interested. It took me a long time to climb back up, from that. So I understand completely that this is not easy, but it's just feedback. It just means that particular person is not interested at this moment in time. Because like I said last week, SW, 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 some will. Excellent. Gold star. Some won't. Some wait. So some will think, yeah, maybe, but yeah, timing's not right. But they will come back. And then, so what? It really doesn't matter. That's the most important thing. So seek out feedback. Get people to tell you what they want. Actually create surveys that say, would you prefer me to do this or that? How about this? Do you want one of these or one of those? Let's figure it out. Connect with them, find out what they need and want. Whatever it is they need and want, you can then provide. Now, before you get all confused and think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to completely redo my business so that I'm only giving people what they really want. This is about communication. rather than actually something, right? Communication. So you don't change what you're offering. You wouldn't go and suddenly get a different product. You change the way that you are communicating about what you are offering. That makes sense. Everything that anyone ever sells to anybody can be packaged in a certain way. It can be presented in a certain way, right? You just need to find the way that works for the people that you're talking to. Then you go with the majority, right? So if the majority of people say, actually, I want you to do training webinars once a month, do them. If half the people say, actually, I'd rather be able to watch your videos as and when I feel like it in some platform where I can log in and get access, put one up. Do whatever you can in the language that people are speaking to you in. So, for example, if you're selling a product, health products seem to be the kind of things that most people identify with, even if they're not selling them themselves. So imagine you're selling a health product, which happens to be really good for weight loss. But your audience isn't into weight loss. You present it in a different way, because weight loss isn't just about weight loss, is it? It could be about gaining muscle, or defining your body in a different way, or becoming more lean, or curing heart issues, or being more flexible, or feeling younger. All those things could be related to that product. It doesn't have to be promoted as a weight loss product, right? So if your audience is into looking and feeling younger, give them testimonials of people who've come back saying, this made me feel so much younger, right? Or the other way round. If people are looking to lose weight and your products are, not directly connected to that, they make you look younger, or you've got beauty products that work on the skin, then you can still promote it in a way that will appeal to somebody who's looking for that other thing. So, for example, okay, I think I'm digging myself into a hole here, but I think you see what I mean. So you could, for example, promote a beauty cream that tightens your face, makes you look as though your face is slightly lifted. And the effect of that is that you could look as though you've lost a little weight. It could actually make you look as though you are slimmer than before you took it. So if you know you've got some weight loss diehards in your list that won't look at anything unless it's to do with weight loss, tell them that that face cream could potentially make them look slimmer. Now, obviously, you cannot lie, and you cannot possibly ever say anything that the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, or whatever they're called, would not like, because I know there are rules about the claims that you're allowed to make. And as I said at the beginning, I didn't think this one through before I started talking, but I'm trying to give you an example of how you can promote something using language that appeals to the audience that you've chosen to promote to, right? Rather than losing them because they think that you're doing something else, right? So, for example, one of the products I've been selling the longest, most of my clients are real estate agents. So it became obvious to me that a lot of my marketing should be based around real estate agents. And what do real estate agents want above everything else? What are they constantly asking for? Referrals. But they're not the only people who ask referrals, right? So I can send out emails saying, does your real estate business need more referrals? But I can also send out emails that say, are you looking for more referrals in your health business, your MLM business, your mortgage business, selling cars? You know, reduce your marketing costs by increasing your referral rates for any business at all. But I wouldn't have thought about that if I hadn't been introduced to the idea that for a realtor, the referral is the most important thing. So what I'm saying is, find out, look at what it is that your audience wants, the language they speak, the solutions they are looking for. You can provide those solutions without changing your products by talking about your products in a way that will appeal to them. Because at the moment, the chances are that you're promoting your products in a way that appeals to you, but you might be doing it to people who aren't you. It's possible. This would come up in a conversation about how to find your audience and what your goals are and who you're talking to, which is something I do in my brainstorming session. So if you want to do that, let me know. But the point is, feedback is absolutely critical for you to know how to improve the way that you talk to people. Okay? Tell them that you have the solution for their problem. If necessary, send the same email to different groups of people with a different heading so that it catches their attention because they're in one particular group and they're looking for a specific thing that you know about. But a different group of people speaks a different language and might be looking at promoting it in a different way. How people respond to you, literally, the feedback, the criticisms they make, the things they moan about, the things they celebrate, the things that they praise you for. This all indicates to you what they want and allows you to give them what they want. Then they'll fall in love with you. Then they'll ask you about all sorts of things. Wow, you're amazing. Your information the other week about that face cream was fantastic. What other face products do you have? Because, you know, I've got this issue, or, you know, lipstick never stays on, or my eyes are deep set and my makeup goes streaky, or when it's hot and I sweat, my powder falls off my face, or whatever it is. Things that they wouldn't have thought of if they hadn't been inspired by something that you were talking about in their language. Right. Here's quite an important thing. People will respond to your communication in the correct language, even if it's about a product they're not interested in, because they will think that, oh, that product I'm not interested in, but I might be interested in another product that they have. More than people will respond to the correct product, even if the language is not right. The language is primary because that's what captures their attention. That's what builds the relationship. That's how you connect with the way that you speak, the way you use your language. The clues to all that is the way people respond to you. Then they will ask you about other things you do. It happened to me. It happened to many of the people I work with. So find out what people want. Actually send them a survey. You can make it multiple choice. You can just send them an email that says, I've got 3 questions to ask you. It's going to take 2 minutes. Or you can say, I want you to spend 15 minutes on this survey and the person who gives me the best answers, or answers most thoroughly, or answers first, or the 15th response I get, or the 500th response I get, will be awarded a prize. And you send them, I don't know, a box of chocolates, brownies, a book, a Starbucks card for a free cup of coffee. Then you'll find out what they want and how they're talking and the problems they're trying to solve. That way you can give them exactly what they need, because they are looking for the solution to a problem. You have the solution. You just need to find out what the problem is. And I know that sounds backwards, but I promise you it isn't. If you have any questions, email me, Andrea at myhomebiz.tips. Tips, by the way, for those of you who might have forgotten, stands for tools and ideas that produce success, right? That's what I have here for you, tools and ideas that produce success. And go to the website, myhomebiz.tips, send in a question on the contact form, or make an appointment for a brainstorming session, and we can go through this, and I can give you some of those ideas and introduce you to some of those tips. At the end, you will have a strategy to work from. Whether we work together or not, you will have ideas and a strategy and suggestions of useful tools. So never underestimate the value of feedback. However bad it seems, don't let it upset you. Learn from it. Communicate in a different way, or communicate to different people. I'm here if you want help. Never underestimate the value of feedback. It's one of the most important things that you get. It tells you exactly where you can sell to, who you can sell to. And that's a really, really useful thing to know. Okay, then that's it. Goodbye from this balmy, summery Tuesday night. And I'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.